this. All right, welcome, welcome. Thanks for being here on a snowy Sunday, if it's snowy where you are. My name is Melissa Collins, and I don't do these very often. So I'd like to start the call by asking for a little grace. I don't do these very often anymore, and I'm going to tell you why. And I definitely never use slides when I talk, and I'm going to do that today. So this could be an entire disaster. So I hope everybody's buckled up and ready for that. Even when I speak on stages, I don't use slides. I drive everybody crazy because they want me to present my slides. I'm like, I don't use slides. I just talk. And they're like, okay, well, what are you going to talk about? I'm like, I don't know. I figure it out when I'm at like step 3 on the stage. I don't know. That's not how and my process doesn't work that way. I just don't do it that way. And so, but we are going to try today because I know that it's important for some of you to have visuals. And so I'm going to try. But before we do that, I would really like to know, is this the first time you're taking a look at this opportunity? Can you drop a 1 in the comments if this is the first time you're here taking a look at what we do? And then I would like to ask for a little permission. I hope that it's okay. I was just spending a little time with Tony Robbins and listening to a talk he did, and something struck me, and I'd like to talk about it if that's okay. Just a little bit of mindset value before we get started here, hopefully to open up your mind. And if you get nothing else out of this, if you hate this opportunity, if you can't stand it, well, at least you got some value out of coming to this call today, this afternoon. So again, my name is Melissa Collins. I've been an entrepreneur my entire life. And the reason I don't do many of these opportunity calls is because where I'm at in my journey is pretty unrelatable to most people that come to the call. And so when people find out how much money I make and that I do it all from home and they find out certain things about me, it impacts the way that they think. They immediately go into a blockage where they can't think that big. And I was thinking about this morning, how to frame this, because I can only tell my story, right? It's not a fake story. It's my story. It's been my journey. It's the only way I know how to share my story. And I was thinking back to when I was in your seat where you may be sitting right now, or, similar to where you are. When I started my journey 15 years ago, I came to a call similar to this, and a woman named Susan was speaking, and she was sitting in a seat just like I'm sitting in now. I mean, not this couch, but, where she was in her life. And it was so big and it was so unrelatable to me, but it inspired me. And I hope that today some of that can come through for you. Because I'm not going to tell you the things I'm going to tell you to brag or to make you feel bad. I'm going to tell you because I want you to know that there is no lid and there is no cap on your potential and what you can do. And one of the other things, what struck me about what I was listening to this morning with Tony Robinson, was he was talking to Alex Hormozi. And Alex, if you know who those two guys are, they're amazingly successful entrepreneurs, and they've impacted millions of people's lives. And Alex was saying to Tony, I struggle I've always been really good at business. And he always says, F happy. I don't know if you ever heard Alex Hormozi say that, but he doesn't believe in happiness. And he's always talks about it. He wants to win. He just wants to strive. And so he said to Tony, you get to a certain point and you've made all the money and you've had all the success. And I'm trying to figure out happiness. And the advice from Tony was great, but that's not what I want to share from you. What I get a lot from people, and you may find yourself feeling this way during this call, is, they say things like, I don't really care about money. Or, it's not really about, I have enough money. Look, all of you have enough money, because I know for a fact, because you have electricity and you're in shelter. Okay, so you're in a home somewhere. You probably have food in your refrigerator. And whether you're happy paying the bills you're paying or you're comfortable paying them or not, you are paying them. Like you're surviving, right? You're at some level. Some of you make $2,000 a month. Some of you make $20,000 a month. It doesn't matter wherever you're at, you're comfortable. Even if you're like, no, Melissa, I'm not comfortable. Well, if you were really uncomfortable, you would have already done something to get out of that situation. So you're somewhat comfortable. The word comfortable bothers me a little bit, because I think it's actually people, what they should be saying is complacent. We get complacent. And so when people tell me, I have enough money, it doesn't matter to me, I don't need to make $1,000 my first week, which I'm going to explain to you on this call, that doesn't seem like a big enough number for me. It triggers me a little bit, because what I feel like is it's a little bit selfish. Okay. I don't know if you know this, but there are 300,000 children on this planet that don't own one pair of shoes. Did you know that number? Do you know how many shoes do you have? Because there's 300,000 kids, forget about adults, there's 300,000 children right now that don't have shoes. And there are almost 1 million people in the world that you're living in right now that do not have access to clean water. And so congratulations that you have enough money, but someone else can't just go turn the faucet on. And so at some point, I just want to open your mind up. If you are one of those people who's like, man, I have enough money. Okay, but I would present to you that people, human beings, are happiest when we are producing. We are happiest when we have purpose. And so we start out our careers and we need to make money, right? Because we got to eat, we got to feed our kids, and they need a Nintendo and all the other things. But then we get to a certain point of success, and like how many famous, rich and famous people can you think of that at one point committed suicide? Why does that happen? Because they stop living in purpose. And so it doesn't matter how much money you have. It's not the money, it's not the number that creates purpose. And this is also the answer to, if you start asking yourself, when I tell you my story, if you start asking yourself, why would she do this again? Why would she go do this again? Because this is where I find purpose. Okay, I started this business on October 29th. In October, I made over $100,000 in income. I did not need a new business. Okay, I've been making 6 figures a month for a long time. I didn't start this because I needed to make an extra $1,000. But why did I do it? I did it because it's where I find my purpose. We find purpose. We always think we need less problems. No, you need better problems. When we're living a purposeful life and we're solving problems and we're doing hard things, that's where we actually find joy. That's where joy actually lives. See, when you're in survival or struggle mode, and I've been there, I've been the mom who couldn't feed my kids and myself. I had to choose who ate. I've done that. I've shopped in my mom's cupboards. I've been broke ridiculously. I've been in $100,000 of debt. All of that is part of my story. And when I got the money, now I'm in a place where I'm completely financially free. I can buy, do, and have anything that I want. That's not what brings, it wasn't the money that brought me the joy. It's having purpose in other areas of my life. And so when you ask yourself the question, why did she start this? Now you know the answer. And so I just want to kind of open up your mind. This has been a 15-year journey for me. And so are you going to start this business tomorrow and have the success I'm going to describe to you that happened to me? Probably not, because you don't have the same tool set that I have, right? And if we both go outside and I have a spoon and you have a backhoe, you're going to dig your hole faster than I am. But I'll tell you what, I won't quit. And so I'll eventually dig just as big a hole as you. It'll just take me longer. Okay, so let's let go of comparison and let's let go of all of that I have enough kind of mentality and really open up your mind to what is possible. Okay, so I am going to tell you how this all started, and then I'm going to share this slideshow that I do not want to share because it's just going to mess me up, and that's where it's going to get real weird here. But anyway, I have been in the social selling product kind of MLM space for 15 years. About a year ago, I stopped building in that space. I have 2 other companies. I have a software development company that I own, and I have another company that I own, and that makes me plenty of money. And I was just going to focus there. I just over the last about 3 years, the product industry has gone downhill. I know that some of you are probably in a product company, and maybe you don't like that I'm saying that, and I'm sorry, but the truth is just the truth. I work with, I've been a field leader, I have been a corporate officer, and I've been an owner of an MLM company. I also, with my software development company, work with all the top CEOs in the MLM industry. And so I am very in tune with what's going on in that industry. And I'm telling you, it's smoked. It's over. Consumer behavior has changed. TikTok Shop has changed it. The way that we buy products has changed. I don't know about you, but I make my decisions on supplements approximately at 1:30 in the morning when I watch Dr. Oz, right? And at 1:30 in the morning, when I decide that I need more turmeric in my life, I go on Amazon, I look at reviews, and I buy turmeric, and the next day it's at my house. Like, I'm not wrong, right? I'm not the only one who's doing this. Yeah, see, look at the comments. Yes, this is how. So our consumer decisions have changed. Amazon has destroyed us for what we think shipping should be, right? I mean, you're like, I think about a new pair of socks and it shows up on my front porch. Like, I don't even know. That's what my husband thinks. He thinks about deodorant and then magically it appears. I mean, somebody does push the button. Somebody is me. But anyway, that's the world we live in now. And so, and consumers are smarter. We know that we can get clear protein from Costco and we can read the label. We have apps that read the label for us. We know it's just as good at Costco for $26 as the person online that's selling it for 84 or whatever it is. We know that. And so that industry has gone down and I just did not feel good. And by the way, the company I left, I own. Okay. So I'm not going to talk bad about their corporate staff because you're looking at her. I liked their culture. I built it. I liked their tools. I built them. Okay. So like, you can't argue this with me. I left because I could not in good conscience continue to bring people there and say, you can make money here, because I don't believe that. I didn't believe it anymore. And so I was done. I was just done. And so, and then other product companies came to me and offered me all sorts of money. Bridges, we'll give you $100,000 a month just to build here, all that gross stuff that goes on, whether you know it goes on or doesn't go on, it goes on. And I just, no matter how much money you offer me, I can't do it because I can't look at my people in the face and say, you can succeed here. And so I thought I was really done. Anyway, around the beginning of October, Brandon came to me and said, hey, we should talk to Brian Carruthers. And I said, about what? Are we writing a book? Do we just want to have dinner? Why would we talk to Brian? It didn't even cross my mind. And he said, well, maybe you should take a look at building Legal Shield. And I rolled my eyes so hard, my eyelash fell off. Like, for real. What? What do you mean? The most boring? What are you talking about? Why would I do that? I don't want to do that. There's nothing in my body that thinks I want to sell legal. I'm not a lawyer. I don't even like lawyers. Like, they're terrible people. Sorry if there's any lawyers on here, but lawyers drive me. My experience with lawyers has not been great. All they do is take my money and call me back 22 days later after I actually needed them, right? So I'm like, why would I do that? At that point, I don't even understand what the plans are. I don't understand anything. And so Brandon forcibly puts me on a Zoom call with Brian, who is the top leader here. He's made like $27 million or $25 million in the last 27 years. He's a great human. We've been friends with him for like 10 years. And I love Brian, but I don't want to do Legal Shield. So he goes through this whole presentation. I ignore most of it because I'm rude. And I'm like totally texting people and just ignoring him. So you're going to understand why that's important in a minute. So we get off the call and I go off to bed, don't think anymore about it because I'm not doing that, because I said I'm not going to do that. And, no one can tell me what to do. And so Brandon comes to bed and says, oh, I signed us up for Legal Shield. So I was non-consensually enrolled. Okay. I'm a non-consensual enrollment. I was like, what? Well, I'm not doing that. And he said, you don't have to do it. He knows you can't tell me what to do. He said, you don't have to do it, but we need the service for our family anyway. So he explained the service to me. I'm like, oh, yeah, that makes good sense. Yeah, that's a great deal. Let's do that. But I'm not doing it at this point. Well, the next day I wake up and my 21-year-old son calls me hysterically crying, saying that he got a letter from his landlord telling him that he has to be out by December 5th. Now remember, we're now in like mid-October. And I'm like, oh my gosh, now I'm going to have to retain an attorney because they're trying to kick him out illegally because they're doing this because he's 21 and they think they can just do it without officially evicting him. They were kicking him out because he has an ESA dog, which, by the way, is against the law. Like, you can't do that. So I said to my son, oh, well, good thing you have such a smart mom. I signed up for Legal Shield yesterday. Took full credit, by the way. He's heard this story since, so now he knows the gig is up. He knows that Brandon did it. But so remember, I didn't listen to the presentation, right? So I said, you could just call my lawyer, because I thought that was the case because kids under 26 are covered. I had heard that part. I didn't hear the fact that they had to live with you or be in college, and he lives on his own. So he calls my lawyer. Lawyer says, son, you're not covered because you don't live with your mom. You need to get your own plan. Kid calls me back and says, Ma, the lawyer can't help me. I need my own plan. Give me your link. I know you have one. You have a link to everything. I said, okay. So I send him my link. He buys a $37 legal plan and he gets on the phone with the lawyer. He texts me, everything's fine. We're working it out. So my kid stopped crying. I don't care anymore. Problem is solved. Not thinking about it. I wake up the next day and I do a money habit that I have, which you should do. Here's a little nugget. I track every dime that comes into my house. If I earn 13 cents in interest, it goes into my tracking app. Every single day I wake up, I look at my bank accounts and I track every dollar of income that comes in. So I see this deposit from Legal Shield that was 4 times the amount of the $37 my son spent, and I'm baffled. I have no idea what's happened. So I send a screenshot of my bank account to Brian Crothers and they say, "Hi, what is this?" Well, I thought they were charging us for a service. Why are they giving me money? And he said, "You sold a plan. I told you how much you get paid, and you get paid the very next day, and it's a direct deposit." I said, "Well, I'm sorry, I didn't listen to you. I was texting my friends." And so it's something cracked inside my brain. And I was like, I have this huge network of people who want to make extra income, who need this. And in a product company, if you sold something for $37, you might make between 4 and 10 in a really good company. Let's give it 10. Not in most companies. It's really probably closer to 4, okay? And then you're going to get paid that commission in 45 days. But it's going to go into a commission account, and then you got to figure out how to get it out of iPayout or ePay or whatever thing it is, and then you got to get it into your bank account, which, by the way, takes 3 more days. So you're probably getting your $4 in 47 to 50 days. How helpful is that to your paying your electric bill? You've forgotten about that $4 and quit by the time that thing comes around, and you probably just left it in the commission account, which, by the way, 42% of people in the industry do. That's a crazy number for you too. Like, that got Ashley Sullivan's attention. She was like, "What? People leave money in their?" Yes, they do. And so it says crack something in my brain. And on October 26th, I called Brian and said, "Okay, I'll launch this." And at that point I said, "But I'm not going to lead. I'm not going to really do it. I'm just going to pass people to you. I'll launch it on October 29th. We'll see what happens." On October 29th, we did a couple of launch calls. Within 24 hours, we hit the top of the comp plan. We made 5 figures in our first day, which was deposited in our account the second day. Here we are today, I'm right around day 90. I'm somewhere in there. I didn't count the days today, but I'm around between day 90 and day 100. Last week, I was recognized for making $200,000. But the truth is there's a $50,000 bonus I'm getting in 2 months that I've already earned. So I've made $250,000 in 3 months. 200,000 of it is in my bank account. And so those are big numbers. That's what I was talking about. But it's not just me. There are people on this call here who've made $1,000 in their first month. Would that impact you? Would that help you? I've got Brittany Black on here. She was just recognized. She's been less than me. I think she started a few weeks or maybe 3 or 4 weeks after I started. And she was just recognized for her $50,000 ring. The ring is like a ring they send you. I think we're all going to be Super Bowl champions. They're like these big, like Super Bowl looking rings. They said they're sending me a 50K one, a 100K one, a 200K one. And next week, mark my words, I'll have the 250K one. And very soon, by our conference in April, I'll have the 500K ring, which means I can put one on every finger and do a picture like Tom Brady. Remember the Tom Brady picture where he has all the Super Bowl rings? Anyway, I'm like, what's the procedure? Do you wear all the rings? Like, what is it? What? I don't even know. I've never been in a company that gives you rings. I don't know what to do with these big gaudy. They look like, your high school ring. Anyway, it's been crazy. And so that's how we got started. Very quickly, I decided, okay, nope, this is a great place for my people. I very quickly figured out how to help people make $1,000 quickly. Most people do it in their first week. Some people do it in their first day. There are people on here. I know Jessie did it in her first day. I know Ashley did it in her first day. There's people on this call that did it in their first 24 hours. So it's bananas. And so I'm going to share my screen. We're all going to say a little prayer for me now that I can actually talk and manage this at the same time and that I can get it pulled up correctly. So let's see. Can you guys see my screen? Can someone just drop a yes in the comments that you can see my screen before I go into okay, good. All right, so let me make sure I have the slideshow up here. So one of the reasons that very quickly I decided I am going to actually plant my flag here and build is because it became very obvious to me that I can build a legacy with Legal Shield, that this can be my last build. This company is 50 years old, and I feel very confident that we can come here and stay here. What I know for sure, if you can hear my voice, If you come here and you just don't quit, there's no way you're not going to build an income. I've been at events with people who've been here for 10, 15, 20 years. They've all said the same thing with me. Just don't quit. You might start slow, you might start fast, but just don't quit. All right, so you're here because of Elite Associates. That is the name of our team. Our team is a little bit different than what goes on in the vast majority of Legal Shield. And so we are the #1 and fastest growing team, fastest duplicating team, I believe, in the company at this point. So what are we going to talk about really quick? And the slideshow presentation is going to be fast because, like I keep telling you, I don't like this. But we're going to go over what do we do? What is it going to cost you? And then I want to explain to you, because I know you're asking yourself, well, can I do it? And so that's an important thing to get out of this call. And so what you're going to learn on here is about the Legal Shield service, how we help you build your book of business, and what it's going to cost to get started. So who is this for? It's really for everybody, but we have a lot of real estate agents, brokers, travel agents, insurance agents, paralegals, lawyers. We have stay-at-home moms. We have homeschool moms. We have entrepreneurs, business owners. We have dads. We have, I mean, it runs the gamut. Oh, this is for slides for people who are not me. So there's me and Brandon. This is, and by the way, we launched this October 29th. This is a picture taken in Morocco. We were in Morocco 4 weeks later. So you don't usually leave for a 10-day trip to Morocco a month into a build and then go ahead and build $100,000 a month residual income. That's not normal. And so here's just some members of the team. You see me up there, that's Morocco again. We were in a hot air balloon. That was a crazy experience. And then Brittany Black, I was talking about, she made $50K in 90 days. We've got Ashley Sullivan up there. She hit the top permanent rank. I think it was in her second month. Permanent rank, did you guys hear that? We have permanent ranks because as you move through the ranks, your pay is gonna go up, right? So when you first get in and you're an associate and you sell a Legal Shield plan, you're gonna earn $80 on that $37 sale. Then the next step up is like $100. Then it goes up to $126. When I sell a Legal Shield plan where I'm at in the company, I earn $416 on when I sell a Legal Shield and ID Shield together. When I sell a $72 plan, I earn $416. And so those are permanent ranks. So she doesn't have to re-rank every month. It's really important to get your mind around. But I want to talk a little bit about the service. Obviously, this is still me. And so this is talking about how much I saved in 1 week. So using the actual plan. So I have other businesses. So I have a business plan that I purchased for my small business. And I have a personal family plan that covers myself, my partner, and our kids that still live in the house and are under 26. It doesn't cover my 21-year-old, as we talked about. But I went to ChatGPT and I typed in everything that I did. This was 2 weeks ago I did this. I typed in, we're getting our will done. We're getting a trust done. We're having both of our power of attorneys done. We had a homeschool called consult. We had a demand letter written to a company that tried to take $58 from us. I'll tell you that story if you want to hear about it. But I mean, is anybody calling a lawyer for someone taking $58 from you? Probably not. But I mean, it's free. So I pushed the lawyer button. We had some custody consults with some custody issues we have going on. I got a trademark started and a copyright started for my app that I own. And so I asked ChatGPT, if I did all this and I live in Nashville, what would the low end and the high end be that I would have had to pay lawyers? $5,400 to $16,500 that I would have had to pay to get all of that stuff done. That's crazy. We talk to our lawyers like twice a week because, okay, right now it's tax time. So I'm going to get on the phone. I have a meeting with a tax attorney next week just to go over the structure that all of you are, most of you, if you're not yet, if you join us, you're going to be an at-home business. Do you have your taxes structured right? Do you have the ability to call a tax attorney? Well, I do because I have a $37 plan. That's crazy. Okay. All right, so some results on the team. I told you about this before. These are old results, but Brittany made 30K in her first 60 days. I made 100K in my first 33 days. We have brand new people coming in here and getting eligible for $700 in bonuses in their first week, which when you add everything up, it adds up to like $1,000 they can make in their first week. But why this? Well, it's a service that everyone can use. And so when you understand the value of the service and you go to some of our service trainings, and actually for those of you who are here on the team or are going to join the team, I have a really special treat for you coming up on Tuesday that nobody knows about yet, but I'm going to tell you on this call. On Tuesday night, we have a special guest on our team call that's coming in. She's been with the company for 20 years. She's one of their top salespeople, and she's going to teach the team how to build value around the service, how to actually go sell the service and explain it to people. Because if you just walk up to someone and say, hey, do you want Legal Shield? Nobody wants to think about that. Like, they're going to react the way I did. They're going to roll their eyes and say, I don't need a lawyer. I'm not a criminal. I don't need lawyers. I don't use lawyers. But it's really important that when you start to understand what you can actually do and how you can upgrade your life by utilizing lawyers as a partner in your life, right? I used to talk about that in my money mindset course all the time about upgrading your life. How do you get from someone who's capable of making $10,000 a month to someone who's capable of making $200,000, $300,000, $400,000 a month? How do you go through those ranks? Okay, I make $10,000 a month now. I want to break through to 20,000. I want to break through to 30,000. I want to break through to 40,000. Well, one of the ways that you do it is you make small upgrades. And I used to talk about underwear all the time. This is so much better. I used to say, instead of going to Victoria's Secret and getting the 5 for 25, buy the one pair for 25 and feel what it feels like to be someone who buys $25 underwear. Well, that's a terrible example. But Legal Shield is a fantastic example. Do you want to know what 2 things all wealthy people use all the time? Accountants and lawyers. And so for $37 a month, you can upgrade your life to become someone who can say, I'm going to consult with my lawyer on that first. Before you buy a car, you can have them take a look at the contract. Before you buy a house, they can look at the contract. Before you sign up for a coaching class, maybe you want to sign up for Tony Robbins coaching, you can have your lawyer take a look at the contract and any possible pitfalls. There's a million things in your life right now as just a regular family that you could be using a lawyer for, that is an upgrade to help you learn how to become more closer to becoming a wealthy person. Anyway, the norm is something happens in your life where you need a lawyer and you're scrambling to find help after the problem arises. You've got stress, panic, financial burden while you're dealing with the Can you guys hear me? Okay, you can hear me. Well, that's because I'm talking on my phone and I think the screen broadcast is going to stop. So I've got to figure out now. So my power went out. So everybody's been texting me, asking me if I'm okay. No, I'm not okay anymore. The power is out. Okay, we're on my phone now. We're okay. We're going to make it. We're going to make it. Now, where was I on this? I had a backup plan. See, I knew what I was doing. Anyway, the norm is you're scrambling, right? Like, so maybe you have a custody issue and your ex throws in some crazy order and you have to deal with that and you need someone to talk to and you need someone to talk to right now. Speaking of custody orders, like, I don't know, 50% of the United States is divorced with kids. And so there are some people on here who are dealing with that situation. Have you ever just wanted to just chat with someone for your case? Or have you ever had a contentious divorce and CPS showed up at your house? Do you know that on our app, we have the ability to we have an emergency button. And so at 11 o'clock at night, when CPS shows up at your house, you push the emergency button and your lawyer is on the phone in 90 seconds. Think about that in other scenarios. Think about your kids that are covered. Think about your children in college. And you know dang well they're going places they shouldn't be going on Friday night, and they end up at the wrong party that ends up getting raided by the police. Won't you be so grateful that they have an emergency button on their phone? Oh, the lights blinked. Are we getting it back? Okay. Anyway, here we go. We're going to try and get through this, guys. What kinds of things does this help with? Like, what about flight cancellations and delays? You get to your vacation rental, but they canceled on you. You are dealing with bullying or cyberbullying. You have medical or hospital issues and your insurance isn't covering them. Are you going to go fight with the billion-dollar insurance company? I don't think that's going to work out really well. You're getting married or you have a non-contested divorce. That's covered. You're a gun owner. By the way, if you are a gun owner, you need the $15 gun supplement. Look, I agree. If someone breaks into your house, it is going to murder your family. You rightfully so should use the gun that you have in your house. But I also know for a fact, even if you're right, you are going to need an attorney to defend you because that's how our justice system works. And so you can be right all you want. We were sued a few years ago for $17 million. It was a lot of fun. And we were right and we won, but it cost us $500,000 to defend that lawsuit. And so I'm just saying. Traffic tickets. You ever get a traffic ticket and don't want the points on your license so your insurance goes up? Well, a lawyer will show up for you. I mean, it's endless. So, all right, I already told you my story. I'm just trying to like flip through these slides and make sure, okay, I want to talk about, can you do this? Are you going to be able to do this? We on Team Elite, we use my app, which is called Viral You, and we designed it specifically for you at Legal Shield. It is going to literally give you every single thing in the palm of your hand that you need to grow this business. If you can read and you can follow directions, you can absolutely do this business. You are going to be given, when you first get started, you are going to be given an automated AI onboarding bot. They're going to send you a text that says, welcome to the team. There's going to be a link in there. You're going to push get started, and it's going to walk you through all your admin steps. Have you ever joined a company and they slam you into 15 Facebook groups and then they say, watch this 45-minute video. Oh, by the way, watch these other 16 videos, do these other 15 things. And you're so wildly confused, you can't even get your mind straight, right? It's not like that here. And so it's going to walk you step by step through. And then let's say you start your onboarding today and then, it's time to make dinner and the kids want the spaghetti. So you have to stop. And you're not going to start again for 2 days when you have some time. No problem. Go back to your onboarding bot and ask it questions. Hey, I need that fast start training again. It will give it to you. And if you're like anything like me and it's 1:30 in the morning when you have your free time, you cannot message Ashley Sullivan at 1:30 in the morning. She is asleep. She cannot tell you where the link is at 1:30 in the morning. But if at 1:30 in the morning is your time to get some stuff done, then the AI bot will answer you it doesn't get tired, and you can ask it 42 times the same question and it will never get frustrated or mad at you. Okay, so it's beautiful. So we have systems and processes on this team that, what are you trying to do?
Share it to me so I can do yours.
Oh, it's okay. I'm almost done anyway. And so why this though? Like, why Legal Shield? Why is it working so well? Why are so many people having massive success so fast? Well, we have daily pay, and daily pay matters because guys, if you're in here and you're just like, look, I just need an extra $500 to make this car payment to ease up some stress in my life. You need that money you earned tomorrow. You need to pay the bill tomorrow, not in 45 days. I'm just telling you, daily pay is absolutely bananas, and it's the most beautiful thing I've ever seen. There's no selling of products. There's no pills, potions, or lotions. The ability to plug into simple systems. There is also, I should mention, because there's so many people on here, and I want to make sure I don't miss anybody with this. There is also an entire business services side of our business. 40,000 employers in our country give Legal Shield as the Zoom is maxed out. That's why people can't get on. Oops. I'm sorry if nobody could get on. I will have the recording for you guys really soon. Make you a host. Okay, yes, I can make you a host. Hold on, I have to, give me 1 second, guys. Yep, there we go. Make co-host. Okay, now you can handle that. Waiting room. Okay, he's doing stuff. I don't need these slides anymore. I was at the end anyway. It's okay. And I hate the slides anyway. So that was just like God's protection. He was like, she don't like slides. Let's take it away. All right, business services. So 40,000 companies, including like Walmart, like these are not rinky-dink companies, offer this as a benefit program to their employees for retention purposes and other things. So we have a lot of people who just sell B2B. We have a lot of people who just want to sell to businesses, and we have an entire lane and an entire program for them. So when you do your onboarding, make sure you answer the questions correctly. Are you someone who wants to share this with your network, or are you a B2B provider already? And if you're a B2B provider, it will drive you to that lane. So it will show you have your own bot for business services. They have their own groups. They have their own place in the keyboard. And so we are completely set up. We actually just brought onto the team the largest B2B company in the country, in North America, joined us last month. And so we have a ton of B2B sellers in here now. And so there's an entire separate certification for that. And so I just want you guys to know that that lane absolutely exists. And so, all right, let's talk about, so we talked about what we sell. It's Legal Shield plans and ID Shield. We talked about, can you do it? I promise you that you can, I mean, if you can read and you can follow directions and you have about an hour or two a day, you can absolutely build an income here. Number three, what do you have to do to get started? So first of all, you're going to need to get back to the person who brought you here. So just message them. You're either going to decide, do you want just the membership like I did at first, or do you want to be an associate and learn how to make some money for referring this? If you want to just be a member, message your person and say, hey, sounds cool. Don't want to build a business. Don't care about money. I don't want to make any more money. I hate money. Please just get me the membership, and they'll teach you how to get the membership. If you are someone who wants to learn how to build some income here, then go ahead and tell your person that you're ready to get started as an associate. They're going to send you a video that is a 2-minute video, and you got to listen to my voice again, so I'm very sorry, but it's going to explain to you exactly how to get set up. You're going to pay a $99 one-time fee. That's how you own your book of business. By the way, this book of business is willable. So we pay right now in the company, we've been around for 50 years. There are second and third generations that are still getting paid from something that their mother, father, grandfather, or great-grandfather built for them. And so it's a willable book of business. So that's important. So it's $99 to get that, to get your business set up. And then you're going to choose your Legal Shield plan, and the video will go over this, which plan you should choose. Most people choose preferred. If you want a trust costs $200 here. By the way, a trust is $3,000 to $5,000. So $200 is crazy cheap. If you want a trust, you would choose Premier, but most people Premium, but most people choose preferred, which is $37.99. Then you're going to choose your ID Shield plan, whether you do just single or you do family. And then you're going to go ahead and hit checkout, and then you're enrolled. Please make sure you get back to that same person and say, okay, I did it. I enrolled, so that they can get you the welcome email. They're going to get you a welcome message, and they're going to get you the onboarding bot. That bot's going to walk you through all the steps. You're going to get connected to our Facebook group. You're going to get connected to our app where we communicate. You're going to get connected to training. A couple important things, make sure you show up on Tuesday nights. That's where we train. We're going to be having a really great call this Tuesday, teaching people how to actually share the service, how to talk to your friends and family. The first people I called was my family, because I love them more than everybody else. I called my mom and I was like, you need this. And thank goodness she got it, because she's building a new house. And you go look at in the showroom of all the tiles and the pavers and all the things. You pick the things out. Well, she picked out pavers for her driveway. She's in Florida, so all of us cold people can be mad at her today. You can be with me on that. But she picked out the pavers, and the display paver looks totally different than what they put in her driveway. And so she went to the people and she said, hey, this is not right. And the builder said, well, we used the spec you chose. And the showroom said, well, the builder put it down and no one wants to take responsibility. Well, Legal Shield got involved. She pushed the lawyer button. Legal Shield got involved. And don't you know, she's getting a new driveway now. So she's super glad that she paid $37 for her family plan. 100%. She's super glad. So I called my family first, but you really do need to know how to speak to people about it, because even my mom was like, why would I need that? I'm okay. I don't get arrested. It helps to understand what you can actually use it for. And so that training on Tuesday night is going to be very important. So that's all I have for you guys. I hope that was a good explanation. I hope you understand the power of this opportunity. I hope you get back to the person who brought you here, get their link, get started. We'll get you wrapped up in the training. We do a ton of training. We do a ton of communication. You're not going to get lost. Guys, this is not, sometimes I talk about the money I make and people think it's a life-changing decision and they need to have a family meeting, consult with their spouse, do 50 things, think about it, pray about it, think about it again, pray about it again, think about it again, 62 days later, maybe do something. We're talking about $150. Okay, a lot of you spend more than that on dinner on Saturday night. This is not a major investment. It can be life-changing. It's been life-changing for me and a lot of my friends. It absolutely can be life-changing. But that doesn't mean that it's that level decision, right? You can make $150 decisions. And so we will, you want to know how the lawyers get paid? That's a really great question, Karen, because a lot of us were like, okay, cool. Do we get dollar store lawyers, or like is this the five and dime? Like what kind of lawyers do we get? No, these are amazing law firms. Think about this, I think it's 4.2 million customers a month are paying $37. Add that up. We have major law firms in your area, in every state on retainer. Some of them are on retainer for 7 figures a month. You are their VIP customer. They respond to you as if you are a VIP customer, as if you are paying them. So the way it works is when you push the consult button, those lawyers are required to get back to you within 8 business hours. If you push the consult button on Friday at 10 p.m., no one's calling you back till Monday, guys, because this is the real world that we live in here. 8 business hours, they will get back to you. And if they don't, and we tell Legal Shield, hey, they didn't get back to me, they get fired. And they don't want to be fired. They are amazing lawyers. I have had incredible experiences with all of them. You also have all of your information in the app, so you can message the lawyer. So like I text message them all the time, just if I need a quick little thing. I strongly recommend when you get started, you push the button to get your first consult. It should be one of the first things you do. If you don't have your will done, get your will done. If you have your will done, get your will renewed. That's an easy thing. But even if you have all that done, push the consult button and just get on the phone with the lawyer and talk through all the things they can offer you, because you're going to be amazed and blown away when you find out everything you now have access to that you did not have before. And so it's really important, if you're going to share this service with other people, that you use the service. I speak about it so passionately because I've saved like 15 grand. So it's easy for me to talk about it because I talk to my lawyers all the time. The family lawyers, they're like my therapists now. Like we just chat through ideas and what we should be doing. Is this okay? Is that okay? And they'll spend 45 minutes on the phone with me. You know how much I pay for that consult? $0. Well, $37.99 a month. It's included with everything else. So, all right, I'm going to let you guys go because I don't want to go too far over on time here. Get back to the person who brought you here. And I can't wait to see you around the group or on our Tuesday night team calls. Appreciate you all taking some time out, and say a little prayer for us that we get our power back.